Okay, I've almost got this chain case buttoned up. I'm fixing to fill it up with hydraulic fluid, and I can see the sight plug on the inside, so I'm going to fill it up to that level. She's pretty level right now, so I think this will be good enough to fill it up. And I just placed this emergency brake deal on there. I didn't tighten it up. We'll do a final adjustment after a while. Should do it. So I'm not exactly sure how this adjusts, but we're going to need to stop this rod from moving real quick. So what has to happen is this pedal, that's released and that's on. And what has to happen is it just has to come just past level so that it can come down and kind of lock into place. And then you hit it with your heel and it comes back. So I need this to be somewhere like that. Let's see. How are we looking on this? Let's move this like right there. And if that's not going to do it, we got to come forward with it a little bit. Like that. Still gonna need to come a little forward like that. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Let's nail it right there. Well, that'll lock it in place, won't it? Work, wouldn't it? Perfect. Okay, so here's the steering arms on that little jewel, and I put a little paint on them. It looks like the only bushing that is bad on this is this one here. So let's knock that one out real quick. We'll put one of these bushings from this kit in there. This other one looks pretty good. And we'll assemble this all back together. So see how that works. That hooks to a little rod that goes to the spool valve for the front hydraulics. And when you pull it one way, it engages to one direction and the other way. And you can see it has this hole right here. And what you do, if you're not ever going to use that, or if you decide you want to just keep this from moving around on you, you just drop a 3/8 bolt down inside of here, put a nut on it, that locks it in place so it won't move. There's a couple of bushings here that are wore out. This one here on this steering shaft is wore out. I believe that takes the same bushing as that the one we just put in. So also underneath here are these little round pieces here that wear out. When these shafts move forward and backwards, these little round pieces wear out. So I've got some new pieces of those. They bolt through here. And then from what I understand, we can flip this bar around to give this a new surface to ride on. So we'll look at that as well. Those aren't too bad, but we'll change them out. no room down there. Oh, just barely. Yeah, and that was it. Can't get another hand on it. We get it through here. There it is. There we go. There we go. See how that's made? Slides on here. And if you look, these bars have a adjustment to them. We'll have to figure out how to adjust those blocks. So now this will come off like this. Let's clean this stuff up, put a new bushing in there. Got it. Alright, so I'm going to do my level best to explain this, how that's adjusted. You have to do it with the Bobcat on. You have to start with the rear lever, which is the left side tracks, and you make sure it's centered and that the tracks aren't moving while it's running. Then you have to take the 2 bolts on that bar that we flipped around earlier, and you have to push the rail all the way back to hit both of those 2 round deals. Okay, and this rear one pivots on the bottom but has a slot on the top for the adjustment. So you have to push it on up against there, and you make that bar have contact with those 2 round dowels, or those 2 round pieces. It has to make contact with both of them and not turn the wheels. So you have to adjust that top one back and forth to where it's not barely making it go backwards or whatever. So once you have those 2 adjusted to where they're making contact with the 2 round dowels, and it's not, you push this bar right here, you push the bar all the way back and it's making contact and the wheels aren't moving, then you can set those 2. Now you got to move to the front 2. Okay, on the front, sort of the same thing. You have to have this right track control. If you pull it forward, it goes forward. If you pull it back, it goes back. So it has to be centered, and you can feel it kind of center itself a little bit, but not really very much. So once you have it with it running, you move it to where the tracks aren't moving at all, or the wheels aren't moving at all. Then you take it and push this bar with these loose, top and bottom, and both top and bottom of this one are slotted. So you have to take and have them both slightly loose with this bar pushed all the way back as far as it'll go, staying against the rear one in the back. Then you take this one and you push them both against the two round pieces and tighten it up. At that point, when you put this spring that goes in between here and you tighten it down, that spring is going to be forcing this slide bar all the way back, pushing evenly against both of these arms, keeping them both straight up and down in the neutral position. If it's not adjusted, like if the rear one back there in the back is slightly pushing backwards when this spring piece is pushing back, then it is going to make the tracks move at that point while it's sitting there idling. So you have to finesse it a little bit, and good luck. Needs more adjustment.